provide anywhere near the service that Alpena Township firefighters did. Did you say my time is up?
Nobody spoke, Ms. Twite.
Oh, well, I heard some background noise, I guess.
Well, we have, unfortunately, there's other people on the telephone that are not muted, so we're getting everybody's background.
Oh, okay. Well, they need to let me have my turn, and I appreciate it. Thank you much, everybody. But anyway, I know that Alpena Township is approximately 125 square miles. And granted, I would probably get service quicker than a lot of people in Alpena Township, but by the city it's 10 minutes or 15. That's if they're in. By our township, I would have somebody here within 3 to 5 minutes, and they were here at my back door putting a blanket on to keep me from being cold till the city got there. We're not going to have that. I was laying out in the ice and the snow and 20 below zero, I think it was. I was cold, but I would appreciate that. I agree with Ms. Banks is that you should table this and get input from the property owners of this community before you be changing a contract that gives us 3 people to cover 125 square miles. Thank you for your time and good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Twite. Is there anybody else online or by telephone that would like to add new comment that is similar or dissimilar to the comments that we've listened to at the 10th? We're not moving forward. We're actually just listening to all concerns at this time to make a list of said concerns to address all the concerns moving forward. That is the exercise that we find ourselves in.
Yes.
If no one else wants to comment, I would comment a second time, but I'll wait and see if somebody comments.
You've had your opportunity.
I'd like to make.
If there's somebody that's
I
online,
have a new item.
Marie, there is somebody that would like to participate. Sir?
Yep, thank you.
Yes.
My name is Chris Stevens. Sorry, go ahead.
One at a time, please.
Yes. Yes. My name is Joe Garliv at 1333 Golf Course Road in Alpena. And I did attend the meeting on the 10th, and I sat by and listened to what was presented. And as a township resident, I certainly would not like us to disassemble or take apart our current fire department without, making due consideration. And I like the discussion I've heard about, discussing it further. One of the things I would caution is that we are currently looking at getting into a contract with the city of Alpena. One of the items on our agenda tonight is a closed session about water litigation. We're still going back and forth on water litigation with the city. So I would just, I don't know if it would be wise to enter into another contract with the city for such an important service and have us at their mercy again. But I'm all for consolidation and saving the taxpayers money as long as our service levels do not drop. And I appreciate your time this evening, and I do respect the board and would expect them to make the proper decision when it's time. So thank you very much.
Sir, for the record, could you please state your last name again?
I got it. Barber.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next comment, please.
Laura Green.
Laura Green, we can see you.
You're muted.
You're muted on your end, Laura.
Uh-oh. Where was it?
We can hear.
Look, yeah. Laura, I can, if you can come back, I can acknowledge the fact that everybody on the board, I do believe, received your email later this afternoon. And that is part of the considerations, if you can hear me. Do you have audio yet, Laura? No.
Nathan, I can still hear you.
Okay, that's wonderful. Is there anybody on the telephone that hasn't commented yet that would like to make comment?
Chris Stevens?
Could you?
Okay, Mr. Stevens?
Stevens, I live at 637 Mack Avenue. I am also a full-time employee of the Township of Alpena. And my comment today, I heard some questions during your deliberation there about services, and I just wanted to kind of enlighten everybody. The Township of Alpena and the City of Alpena already have it's not a written agreement, I don't believe it might be, but it's called a mutual aid agreement. And currently, as it stands, if the township has a fire, we may call for all the assets from the city to assist us in that fire, including all of their personnel and all of their equipment at their disposal at the time. And vice versa, the city can also, if they have a fire, like recently the big Johnny Lau fire, they called us for mutual aid, so we brought our personnel and our assistants, our equipment to the city. And so when in this contract and in these deliberations, keep that in mind that we don't pay for that service and neither does the city. It's mutual aid. We agree to both provide service when requested. So by merging the two departments, you're actually only going to lose the total amount of first responders and paid on call, full-time combined. You're going to lose people no matter if people get picked up by the city, because not everyone will be offered a job. And so the township as a whole and the city as a whole would be losing first responders, personnel, and equipment, well, some equipment. That is a free service already. So when somebody says, well, when Mr. Forbush in his presentation on the 10th said, you know, the township would now have access to 9 full-time people and their equipment, we already have that access to that equipment when needed without having to pay for it now. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention in case you were unaware of that situation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevens, for your comments. Is there anybody else?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Laura Green. I don't think my computer had a microphone, so I apologize for that.
Oh, that would be a hiccup. Yes,
I
Ms.
live
Green.
at 1271 Partridge Point Road, and I did give you an extensive email, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time speaking. I just wanted to thank you for your time today and that you're openly considering other options. I think what would help me in understanding this more, and I'm new to this, is how we're at this situation now. Is it because of financial reasons, and what are those finances, or is it just to consolidate and provide a better economy for all of our citizens? I just think it might help eventually to come up with a summary as to why we're even at this point of negotiating this contract. And then from there, I've already provided my concerns, and I think you all are fully aware, and I appreciate your time and effort into looking into all of those issues. So that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments, Ms. Green. Are there additional comments by telephone or online?
If nobody addresses, I would like to bring forth a new proposal.
This is a public comment. I mean, we're always open to any
Okay.
proposals, but
Well,
would it not be best to send that proposal to the entire board?
well, I don't want you to act on it. It would just be for a point of discussion or for people to talk about. And it would be on blending the two communities together and how you could do that and blend the services together. I mean, because it looks like our township is going bye-bye. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see when I look out there. But if we could all just wrap our arms around a solution for how to make this work so that our fire department works and our water department works and everything. There are solutions out there. That's all I have to say, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dwight. I think that's the exercise that we're involving everybody in, is we're open to different points of view. We're looking for the best solution for our township and our community. Is there any other?
Well,
Is there an additional comment by the telephone?
Yes, this is Ken Gimbel.
Could you repeat your name, sir?
Ken Gimbel.
Okay.
I live at 276 Maple Grove Road. This kind of piggybacks off, I think, Laura Green and I believe the gentleman that brought up the water issue, because at the meeting on the 10th, it came up that it sounds like this was strictly driven by a budget issue. So if the
Sir? Ken, can you hear us?
Can't see what they're saying. They can't hear again.
No, that's not what they're saying. Can the people on the telephone hear us?
Beverly's open or something.
Can you hear us, Beverly?
Yeah, I can hear you through the
Okay.
computer, and I can hear you on the phone. The issue is you're not hearing Gimbel on the computer system. I can hear him on the phone, though.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know how he's logged into the system, unfortunately. I'll try to, they can all hear us on the phone.
Maybe she's trying.
And I'm not muting
I
anything.
can hear him from the phone itself. He's asking, can you hear me? And y'all can hear him.
Oh, they can't.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of COVID. I'd rather have everybody here.
Pretty much just wrap this up.
Yeah.
I can send the top thing that you put the show.
Well, Mr. Gimbel, we're trying to, once again, I don't know why some can hear us, some cannot. I don't want to speak for you, sir. But that is part of what Laura Green said, and I think that is something that we can work on as to a summary of events that led us to this discussion. I think that is a fair request. I think that's something that we can pull all historical documents to ensure that is part of our transparent direction as we look for a resolution. Are there any other comments by the computer while we're waiting to get, or by the telephone while we're waiting for computer audio? Because I'm not touching anything. I stopped touching stuff.
So is Aaron on there?
I just told him.
Okay.
But the comments.
Warren, I've got it.
Okay, is that you, Mr. Gimbel? He's got it. Okay.
What happened? I can't read that.
Ms. Melching's comments is Ms. White. I heard, thank you. How many times does someone get to speak? Oh, yes, say yes.
Oh,
No, he's got it.
I was gonna say, if you don't answer quick enough, Aaron just takes over anyway.
Beverly, we're getting it addressed again, if you can hear us.
I can hear you.
Oh,
That was,
Oh, no, we can't hear her. No,
we just lost you.
Oh, she's
Oh.
back.
I know you're frustrated too. It's just, I can hear you on the web. I can hear you through the phone. At times I can hear Mr. Gimbel, but it's just y'all can't hear him.
We can't hear Mr. Gibble now either.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's calling by cell in a good service area. I mean, there's variables probably potentially out of our control.
Yeah, he called.
This is untenable. Make a motion that we end public comment for this section of public comment. Because there's nobody responding to you, and also because the technology all be together, and then we'll be by December 8th, we can be.
Yeah, well, that is a business item that we're going to be looking at improving this tremendously. Beverly, we do have a motion on the table to end public comment just due to this will be an ongoing opportunity for people. I want to make sure that everybody hears that. Anything that is concluded will be on our website. There is no motion of conducting or agreeing to the existing draft agreement. We're in the process of public dissemination and fostering of a common goal. So, but we do have a motion on the table, and I tend to agree with Russ Reinhardt at this point in time due to the frustration of technologies. I hope that everybody that can hear us is understanding of the fact that we've listened to everybody's points of view, and that is not gone by the wayside.
We don't have a second on that.
We have a second for the motion on the table. We have a motion and support. I do apologize. Any other discussion by the board?
Just that I want people to know that we're not making any decisions tonight on this issue, and that we welcome their input, such as what Beverly did, that I've got partway through here as time's gone. This is from Beverly Banks that I've been looking at. He's also, and others, if you can submit emails to it, we'd love to look at what you specifically have to say that concern you about the content. That's all that's necessary.
Any further discussion? I'll entertain a roll call to end public comment, just so that we're all in agreement.
Just a second.
Yeah, there will be an ongoing.
So the motion is just to end public comment,
Yes.
correct?
Early public comments. First public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. With that being said, I would, just to have a continuation of conversation, I would entertain a motion to take our concerns to, through a motion to give to city leadership to see if they would entertain these concerns, so conversation could continue.
I would hope that we could send emails directly to our counterparts in the city as well, sir.
Most definitely, I'm not opposed to forwarding that, but I would entertain them.
Okay, what is the exact motion, please?
To date, to submit concerns of the township residents and our concerns in writing to the city of Alpena for their input. And any further correspondence will continue to follow.
So the motion is to submit concerns of township residents and the Board of Trustees to the city for their input?
Correct.
Okay.
On this tentative agreement, or on this draft agreement.
on
Yes,
draft.
and,
Okay, so who is making this motion?
We have a motion by trustee Lappin, or actually it was originally made by Ellery Summers, drafted by trustee Lappin. Would you like to support?
So who's supporting it? Trustee Lappin?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. So everybody, we will continue to include everybody as we proceed forward. That being said, that concludes our old business. Moving forward into new business. Business item 1, which would be a correction and an improvement to our inherent technological flaws that we just fallen into. Falls into a 1010 quote, of which also has the rider of the live streaming system. These are CARES Act monies that would be utilized, not out of the general fund, but actually CARES Act state and federal funding through the CRLGG CARES Act grant that was awarded to us, of which we can use said monies for technological updates, one being the opportunity for off-campus remote work, of which we're back into. Also, it can be used to be as transparent and with public. So we were anticipating having a representative from 1010, but before you is the live streaming system, which correlates to the first bid that's in your packet at a total of $5,714.31. This would include a concern and address a concern that we've heard for the past year and a half of improved technologies to host our meetings. So this would include being able to live stream our meetings right to a YouTube channel. So that way we don't have this issue. People can watch everything live, whether the residents are in our township or in a warm southern climate, which is wonderful. But as you see, it has everything that's included. High definition video. It also reduces the overall cost of having on-premise system. And then we can embed the live stream to our website. That way residents can attend board meetings in an easier format instead of me having to try to manipulate and run meetings on top of running a meeting. This also includes 3 televisions, one for each wall, so when we can actually have in-person meetings, similar to the Henry Mail, where you have 2 larger screens on opposing ends, so that depending on where you're sitting, you have good visibility of any documents that would be on that screen, i.e. our agendas, any other attachments. A dedicated camera that's solely for the board. This can be used for other smaller applications, but not for boards. And then also a smaller TV for our lobby. So if we're moving into the future, if we have physical constraints of participation, we can utilize additional square footage to transmit the meeting that's ongoing. But this would be the first opportunity for anybody in northern Michigan to have the technologies to go live. The city uses a YouTube channel, but they actually contract for services, of which we've entertained historically that potential as well, and it was not cost effective. But now we find ourselves with a potential silver lining of CARES Act monies to use to better disseminate the board information and promote transparency. Yes, Russ.
So is this a motion?
I would entertain a motion at this point. We can go into discussion after a motion and
Okay.
support. But I would entertain a motion to move forward with moving forward with the quote that's presented for all the services that would be rendered?
Yeah, I'm not prepared to make the motion because there's questions I have that I want to.
Okay.
I have questions
So,
too.
no, I don't make motions, but I entertain them. Yes.
So you talked about live streaming and a YouTube channel, but will people be able to interact and have open public comment and that with this too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, through it, it's part of that. So the live stream would be the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And actually,
You have this system in the courts, I think, can I answer that, or at least my thought?
from your point of view in the county,
So you're familiar with this type of system then?
We live stream to YouTube.
Well,
court sessions.
Make a motion.
Yeah, we don't have a motion to talk about. That's what
I'll make a motion to move forward with
Yeah.
quote number 2U013782 as presented.
I'll support.
it's been moved and supported. And discussion, trustee Reinhardt.
Here's the drawback. At least, as I understand it, we have court hearings by Zoom. And so with Zoom, we also, the courts, not our office, the courts, live stream to YouTube simultaneously. So it's an open court, visible to the public. They have no input through that. When they have input because they're participating by connecting through Zoom, or like what we have here in this system, then we have to turn off the YouTube or at least mute it, because otherwise we get feedback because they aren't simultaneous. In other words, there's a lag time.
Okay.
So you get a screeching feedback. So unless you know something about this, Nathan, that I don't know that there's any way to communicate through YouTube back to us.
It's Aaron on the line.
And he's gonna act, because he knows technology. So it's not utilizing, you're right, but we're not talking about a Zoom platform. This is a completely different direction, because we've obviously inherently, through this COVID process, whether it's Zoom, whether it's Meeting Manager, whether it's GoToMeetings, have discovered inherent flaws with all of the platforms. And there is no perfect platform. And that's why I'm hoping that somebody that's obviously more tech savvy than the biggest thing for the concerns that this board has faced, and I think you've probably heard prior to taking your seat, is that even outside of direct participation is the participation of watching and very straightforward minutes. Minutes are, non-emotional. They don't depict certain things because minutes aren't supposed to depict certain things. Minutes are supposed to be very concise and clear. But some of the issues that constituents have brought forward are that they would like to visually and audibly hear the business that's being conducted. So that is where that is at. But I would also like to have Aaron really kind of address the more technical end of it, because we always wonder that sometimes. I asked him to call in. Yes, Norm.
So the CARES Act will cover the cost of it?
So what we actually received out of that aspect of the CARES money, of which I've already done the first quarter of reporting, is $8,299 that we received out of the CRL-TG monies that came in unbeknownst. Actually, I think Laura emailed us and said, hey, we just got a check. And then that afforded us the ability to say we had until, I believe this was back in, it was in summertime, and I think we had an X period of time to say either you agree to use it and this is what you're going to use it for, or by the end of the calendar year, you reimburse the monies that were deposited in our account. In reading all the documentation associated with the reporting and what could or what could not be used, because every CARES Act disbursement has its own string of pearls. These monies were actually afforded the greatest level of flexibility in terms of, especially with what we're having to do, where we are now basically in another pause, as our governor stated, a pause. But that also means that we're down to remote work primarily. This building is now really, for all intent and purpose, closed to public participation outside of set meetings. And so it makes it hard to conduct. So these technologies can be used internally and externally to have employee meetings virtually. But the biggest thing for me was, let's afford ourselves that ability to address the concerns that have been coming towards us from our seasonal residents of, we want to watch the meeting. It may not be the cure-all, and I'm hoping that we can get some additional response. Yes, Norm?
Back to that question, also, was there any kind of specific strings attached to this other than reporting?
Just quarterly reporting, and actually I did the first quarter in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
And if we don't use that full allotment, we can always reimburse. But one of the caveats with these monies was it allowed the flexibility to cover administrative costs. So we're actually, before the first quarter reporting, depending on the complexity, especially when you're dealing with federal monies, what are those reporting? But
Because there's also labor costs there. It's either $1,800 to $2,100.
Yep.
That should be able to go in there also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Laura.
So to do this and have it be on the YouTube channel, will those meetings be recorded?
Yes, into perpetuity.
Okay, so is there the option of doing that as well as what we're doing here, that we can have interactive meetings?
Yeah, that's,
So we can do both.
But Russ said when they do that at the county, they have to mute.
They have a pause.
They have to mute where the YouTube can't hear the video.
Right.
I mean, that's like they want to do that.
yeah. So he's actually going to be calling in. That way we can get that particular.
Okay.
Because by all means, that's fair. It was my thought that was with the technologies that would be coming.
So we'll be able to ask you.
So are you on the telephone, Aaron? Aaron, can you hear us?
There you go. Now I can.
Okay, so we have a question, and it's a valid one in terms of the quote for the live streaming. Do you want me to ask or go ahead?
Aaron, my question was, I understand the live streaming to the YouTube channel, but will we be able to have interactive participation with residents? Can they still do public comment with this system?
Yes, there is public comments. What I would recommend during a live stream, excuse me, is to designate somebody, either do a Q&A at the end where you know you're going to start addressing questions. If you choose to let people add comments or ask questions during your board meeting, you're just going to have somebody that's watching your live YouTube and seeing the questions come in. And you'll be able to respond to them through chat before stating we'll address that soon. So there is the interactive part to it. You're just going to have somebody to basically monitor
So
the side
Aaron,
where everybody's able to comment.
will they only be able to comment by like typing their comments where we read them, or will they be able to voice?
The live stream is not voice. It is a one-way, but.
So is there a way we could upgrade it?
Pardon me?
Is there a way we could have voice interaction?
At the end, if you wanted to do that, I would say open up. And what I've been on the conference call tonight is, which comes just chaos of audio. So it's hard. And I'm going to educate you guys on a way. If you do another audio conference to have somebody monitor this as well and mute everybody. Because just when everybody leaves their mics on, you hear everything in the background. It has been very difficult to hear. And I went and looked at, there's 2 people out of 29 muted.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's,
For this meeting tonight.
Well, so that's a problem.
So it's a very difficult battle to involve everybody and to try to have some structure. Not everybody follow the guidelines that are asked to be followed. With the live stream, I mean, people are used to commenting already. You can open up your audio conference at the end. There are some options to make available, depending on what you want to do.
Trustee Reinhardt.
Aaron, this is Russ Reiner. Just a couple questions here.
I don't hear.
Can you speak up, Russ? Because we're actually, yes, that's fine.
Aaron, can you hear me? It's Russ Reiner.
I can, it's kind of cut now.
Well,
Let me go.
yeah, he's coming closer. That's the problem with social distancing. We went from a 14-foot table to 44 feet.
It would help if these.
How about this? Can you hear me now?
There you go. I can hear you a lot better.
All right. 2 things. One is on the proposal itself, which I finally understand now. So it's $5,714 plus somewhere between 20 and 24 hours of labor, as I understand it, right?
Correct.
So that would, the cost then would take us somewhere between 7,900 and close to the 82. Was it 82?
Yeah, 82.99.
82 that we have, so it would use up pretty much all of that CARES money. So really, the only thing that let me ask you this. On the technology we have now, is it GoToMeetings or what is it called?
Yeah,
What's it called?
It's Meeting Manager.
Meeting Manager. Can we mute everyone that's coming in on that system, and then allow single people to be unmuted as they are recognized to speak?
Yes, you can mute everybody at once.
And then
downfall is some people might connect where they think they have a microphone on their computer. I mean, there's a lot of variables in technology where somebody's trying to connect that has satellite that's not going to work. That's going to cause issues on your conference calls, on your video manager, what you're doing now. So unfortunately, being in northern Michigan, we face a lot of things that others don't face downstate where everybody has, high-speed internet. But you can mute people. The nice thing about this is there's the function to raise your hand. So once again, you have to have somebody watching this and running it to know when people have a question or type something.
Would they raise their hand on the YouTube part or on the meeting manager part?
The meeting manager is the part where they can raise their hand if they have a question.
So it's very much like Zoom in that respect.
Yes.
And the control person can unmute an individual to speak then without unmuting everyone. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's all I had.
So it sounds to me like we would have to have a designated person running the meeting, like have an employee.
I wouldn't say the entire time. It depends on how you allow. If you hold everything to the end, then you could bring up a laptop right then, say, we're opening the floor for Q&A. It's how you do it. If you don't want to have somebody sit there watching it the whole time, I would recommend saving those till the end where they say, now the floor is open, where you're going to bring a computer out to monitor and answer.
I mean, we're all walking into really new ground, whether or not it's one of the 3 principal platforms. And for me, it's difficult because I try to do my best.
I know you do, and I'm not saying you don't do a good job. My question, I just want to be clear. we will still have meeting manager and the
Yes.
YouTube. Okay, so we will have two separate components.
The
The live
YouTube,
stream is going to be basically like residents basically watching TV. I mean, it's going to be a smooth meeting. You're not going to have this breakup. They're going to hear the whole thing live because unfortunately we can't tie the computer and meeting manager into your audio system that you have there that you purchased last year or the year before with the nice receiver you have.
Okay,
Live streaming system is going to be tied in and have professional audio and going to be delivered in a way that there's not going to be, you know, the audio interference and the questions. So can you hear me? Can you not hear me? Your challenge there will be if people want to ask questions and how you do it to, if they comment on YouTube, or if you want to open up your audio conference line at the end. My recommendation would be either way, if you do open your audio conference line, to have somebody even monitor that, mute everybody at first. There are controls that you can help, because when I muted everybody on the audio side, it was a lot better. And like I said, there was only 2 people muted out of the whole thing. So that's the hurdles you face of technology. It's just.
so if I'm a resident and I'm at home, I'm watching it on the YouTube channel, and something comes up and I decide I want to make a comment, voice my concerns or opinion, I would have to jump over to the meeting manager platform?
No, your YouTube, you'll be able to comment live right on YouTube.
And they'll be able to hear me?
no,
No, okay, but if I want to use a voice and
verbally.
show my passion for
Yes,
these
then
two.
if you guys say at the end, or we're going to open up our conference line at this time,
Okay,
please dial in.
okay.
So your question then is that, because most people are not going to want to take the time to type out their question. And so they're
I
going
keep
to.
having a hard time hearing them.
Come closer, yeah.
So most people are not going to want to type out their question. Most people are going to verbalize it. And currently we have 2 parts of the agenda where there's public comment. So if I'm hearing what you're saying, that I can listen to it on YouTube, but simultaneously I have to have another window open or another platform open so that I can speak my mind.
But you're not going to have another thing open. You would dial in either with your cell phone or your landline at home. That would be the option to be able to verbally speak your mind, would be able to call into the conference bridge.
Okay. I can't use Zoom.
Zoom's not a cure-all. I mean, that they've reinvested into their infrastructure once this COVID hit, and they realized that business model is now an asset. But every platform has its inherent flaws. So I wish there was a cut and dry perfect scenario. The reality is there is not. Norm?
I believe this technology, as we go down the road, is definitely going to improve, but it's not here today. I mean, 6 months ago, this thing was like a dream out there in the wind. Now we got it, it's got issues, we want something better. Well, there's something better is coming, but it's not here yet.
But will it adapt?
Well, we have to adapt.
No, I mean, will what we are buying
So,
potentially
Grow with us.
so that's a good question. So Aaron, yeah, go ahead.
One thing I want to say is what I've heard a lot in the community is sometimes there's meetings held when people have to work. One nice thing about your live stream is people can stream this from their cell phone no matter where they're at. They can be a part of the meeting. You're going to reach more people with a live streaming system than you are with Zoom, than you are with just somebody dialing in.
Yes, Norm.
Well, people watch meetings now on TV, but they can't talk. They can talk back to the TV, but they don't get an answer. So it's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Russ.
I will say this from a positive standpoint. This does provide better
informed and better opportunities for the public to participate in our meetings, or at least to witness them. It's like, the courts, for example, are obligated to have open courtrooms, and if you can't have people in, like here, we could only have 3 people attend, and if Cash was here, we'd only be able to have 2 people attend in this room. So under the current guidelines or requirement. So to have people be able to see our meetings and be able to have them archived on YouTube where they can go back and see them, I think is a good thing. Is the cost too high for that? Now, most of the cost is for 2 TV monitors that allow us to do whatever it allows us to do here. To see, we aren't going to see the people that are on YouTube, frankly, but just so I'm not sure what the TV monitors are for, because we're only going to see the people that are coming in now. We see them on that big screen over there. So I'm not sure. Aaron, what is the purpose of the TV monitors other than we're going to see ourselves on YouTube, I suppose, on one of them? What's the purpose of the second one?
Did you hear the question, Aaron?
No, is it a no?
So I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll give you the synopsis. Trustee Reinhardt wanted to know, what is the purpose of the TV monitors, which is a big contributing factor to this quote?
Those were asked for us to provide in the quote for your audience to be able to see better. They don't, if that's an item that you feel that's not necessary, those don't have to be there. That was asked of us to provide in the quote.
So that would be the in-person audience?
Yes.
We're pretty small.
Well, right now we are. And that's the unknown. So that's not the most important part of the technology paradigm shift. The streaming aspect is. I did ask in this conversation of if once we start getting people in, because one of the complaints that we had when we had a little larger volumes of people in the room was, how do we turn a TV so that we can see it and the participants can see it? Because right now in this mobile aspect, it doesn't afford anybody in what could be potentially and hopefully a post-vaccine or whatever solution moving forward, when we have greater participation levels. It was just a thought of, okay, if this is a full room, this half can easily see that screen, this half can see that screen. And if that's just downloading and putting our agendas or any other discussion points, that was the train of thought there, is give everybody the opportunity to see what we're seeing that right now we can't spin around, otherwise we're not seeing it.
I would just like to suggest that, if we could put that money into something else and add the TV monitors down the road.
Well, and the primary reason that we looked at having one primary expenditure with the money is because the quarterly reporting is, if we start splitting up, that was the train of thought.
Okay.
Is there other things we could use the COVID money for besides this particular proposal? By the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Right now, actually, we have 2 computers that are just waiting to be that we have that were formerly used by the DPW that just need to be taken over, one to the north and one to the south side fire department to modernize that. We've effectively gone through the entire technological side pretty effectively. Our biggest lag that we've heard is having videos live streamed on YouTube.
It's been a concern for over a year.
It has. It's even been longer than that. What I mean? People want, if they're in Florida for the winter, if they can't come to the meeting or it's a winter outside or whatever, they want to be able to watch our meetings.
So, yes, Russ.
And I'm all for the live streaming, but Clanton just did. it's the 2 TVs and the cabling that goes with it. It's pretty much close to half of this $5,700. And I don't know how much of the labor part, the 20 to 24 hours of labor at 90 an hour, would be reduced as well by not putting in the TVs here. I'm kind of with Laura on that, is if we could use this money for better use, the other half of the potential here, for a better use, that would, just because we have the money, I'm not one to say, well, we got the money, so let's spend it. I don't adhere to that philosophy. And so I'm not necessarily in favor of one or two monitors at this point, because it's not going to enhance the capability of streaming out to the public. That's the other half of the business.
Well, and the thought is like initially is to do 2 in here and 1 in the entryway.
Correct.
So,
If we had an overflow problem.
If we had an overflow cloud.
but it would still be purchased and be out there with this.
Yes. So, I mean, I think this is wonderful discussion. I think at the core of it, it is a good direction to take. And that would be, I guess, my rebuttal to the motion maker. If they would be willing to make a friendly amendment to move forward with a motion to support this quote with the reduction.
It doesn't have to be the motion maker. Any one of us can make a motion to amend the.
Well.
So, but I do have one question before we do that. Where would this camera be?
The camera would be fixed.
That's what I figured.
So that it just, we don't have to adjust it, pan it.
Okay.
This is a supplemental. We can use this for small webinars, smaller get together.
I got it. So that camera would be able to, with your, or somebody here could adjust the zoom and all.
It would be set, preset.
Okay.
So it's going to cover this whole room with this configuration?
Well,
Theoretically not.
probably have to, Russ, we're working with the best we got. So,
I'll relay this question through you to Eric. Is there such a thing as a camera that would turn to the sound? In other words, turn to the voice?
Aaron, are you still with us?
Yeah. Yep.
Is there such thing as a camera that is basically voice activated so that this fixed camera that would be for live streaming, if there was a voice, it would cognitively know where to head towards that vocalization? Or is that?
How big's your budget?
Well,
Yeah, there is technology out there, but it's very hard to decipher and pick up who's talking. I mean, there is the technology out there, but it's very, very expensive.
Then the other question would be, what about 3 cameras? One that would show the audience, one that would show this configuration and that configuration, so you'd have one.
The camera that is quoted is a high definition PTZ. You will have the options to have presets on the remote to say when things start getting back to normal and you can have more people at the board meetings, and say you set up your podium again. Number 1 could be boardroom table, number 2 can be podium, and it switches back and forth within seconds. So the camera's programmable. It's a business professional camera, so there's options to do things with it. Your room's not huge, but as far as picking up someone's voice, that'd be more cameras than just one.
Aaron, I guess I don't want to make this too long and too much longer than it already is, but if we had 3 cameras set up so that people could see a 3-part photo on YouTube. In other words, they could see the board in 2 configurations here, and they could also see the audience so that those people could know who's actually in the audience, and basically see the whole room in that configuration. Are you able to triangulate, or not triangulate, but have a 3-part screen on YouTube?
You cannot have a 3-part screen. I mean, if you went through the process, split it all up, what you would be doing is having somebody with a board flip between the cameras running it for you, as you would see on any live TV conference or anything.
What about on that?
That's all controlled by people running
Would be
the system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
somebody who can train and,
People want to listen, so they don't necessarily care if they see that's what we're wearing. They're probably
well, I've been saying for a long time, you got a face for radio. So, I mean, oh. So, I mean, we do have a motion and support. Is there a different direction that we would like to take?
I would like to make an amendment that we take out the three D screens. I think it's two.
Three.
Total of three.
Okay, I missed one.
Well, there'd be two in here and one in the
oh, the smaller
entryway.
one would be in the entryway.
Now, one makes sense.
I see a 65 and a 43. Where's the third?
There's
There's
260.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
One makes sense.
But, so, I mean, this is before we make another amendment. I mean,
Where,
where,
Well, based upon what you're saying, in terms of people being able to see maybe what we want them to see, flash it there, because they're already moving in that direction anyway. Now, people at home aren't going to be able to see it unless we zoom in on that. So, but it would be, only those people that are here would see whatever's on the screen, but not necessarily with those people that are watching it from.
so let me just ask one more question before we come to a direction with so Aaron, would it be, with this technology, would it behoove us, if we're moving forward, would it, to remove for the time being, because we still have time afforded to us, if we remove the TVs and that hardware from this quote, could we, if we determine at a later date that a TV was needed, would it be a fairly seamless adjustment to include a TV?
Yeah, that's just a matter of getting some HDMI cables and plug it in into the current system.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. So do we have an amended motion?
I guess my amendment would be, I'll agree with Steve, to eliminate one 65-inch TV and one 23-inch TV from this quote, and then move forward with the motion was made.
so we would get 165 TV. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we have a motion on the table to move forward with an amended quote, removing one 65-inch TV and removing one 43-inch TV.
Yeah, you have a motion to amend that step.
Yeah.
And it's ancillary, and.
Do we have support?
Going with that.
Yeah.
We have support by trustee Lappin. Further discussion to the amended motion. So Aaron, I'll touch base with you. It's a motion to move forward with one 65-inch TV with the reduction of the other two, one smaller and 165 for now.
Okay.
Okay, roll call vote, please, if there's no further discussion.
Rescind the first one. We can have two motions.
it's
The
one motion
amended.
is to amend.
Yeah.
Okay, trustee Lappin,
Yeah.
clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
trustee Reiner,
Yes.
trustee Polly,
Yeah.
supervisor Skibby.
Yes. Okay, moving forward.
That's the amended motion.
That was the amended motion. The second item of business is of utmost importance. This past week, we have actually for the past couple of weeks, we've been noticing hesitations, stalls, delays, no conductivity with our software platform to find out that through BSNA and 1010 that our existing server has been expanded memory-wise to its maximum capacity. This server has been around for 6 years. And there is nowhere for it to go except for to move forward with a new platform that has expandable hardware capabilities. Because our remote work right now, our memory is so lapsed that every morning we have to scrub any non-pertinent data from our server. So I would entertain a motion to move forward with the purchase of the server in this quote at $4,733.95.
I will make that motion.
We have a motion on the table. Is there support?
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported. Discussion?
Only, we have budget for it.
Yes, this would be because a vast majority of the hardware is, it would be split between DPW and our general fund, of which we have adequate funds to split the cost. And
This server covers the DPW,
this covers fire department, general, every department is now, and then this server is also backed up on a remote site. But right now, we're especially remote working, and our website is directly lagged because we don't have any memory to move forward.
fear I would have is that you lose things that you don't intentionally scrub in the morning, because once you put something in, something's got to go. So yeah, I think you need to do this. You've got funding set up, you're looking for that.
Yeah, it's been.
We can't really operate.
We can't. I mean,
Oh, yeah, and we're losing labor.
we do our
Yeah.
programs to
So.
wait on people or trying.
So any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Oh, Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes, yeah, there's labor added to that number. Yeah.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby.
Yes. Moving forward to the ratification of a vote of a tentative agreement that was brought forward on the 17th and 18th in contract negotiations with our local bargaining unit through the fire department and represented by Captain Piper and Lieutenant Tolan. An agreement was reached and then ratified by IAFF and the bargaining unit here to extend the current contract for 6 months. So I'd entertain a motion to ratify the tentative agreement on the board side of a 6-month contract extension, term status quo as such. We have a motion. We have support by Trustee Polly. Further discussion?
That was the only question I had, was the extension of the contract.
Yep. Roll call vote, please.
Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Supervisor Skibby.
Yes. Okay. Next item of business is Public Safety Department employee resignation. Michelle, do you have? It was just, we actually have, I believe it was on the 19th.
Yes.
We have a copy of it.
We received a letter of resignation to commence on the last day of December 12th of Lieutenant Tolan. And it's been a past practice of this board to accept the resignation. So at this point in time, I'd entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Lieutenant Tolan.
How long has he been?
He was made full-time a little over 2 years ago.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of the service.
We have a motion on the table to accept the resignation that was provided by Lieutenant Tolan. Do we have support?
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to comment, but we do, when employees leave, we've been doing exit interviews.
And I have given the form to Lieutenant Tolan and asked him to complete and return.
Yep. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kroll.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby.
Yes. Moving forward to the next item of new business is the United Healthcare Clerk Palovich, would you like to address this?
This is an agent of record letter. We currently have, our benefits are spread out, and when we hire or lose an employee, it is multiple forms and emails. What this would do is consolidate where our United Healthcare, which covers our long-term, short-term disability, dental, and vision, with Sterling Insurance Group, who also handles our Blue Cross and life insurance. So this would just transfer the United Healthcare policy exactly the way it is to Sterling Insurance Group as the agent.
At this point in time, I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the agent of record transfer to United Healthcare, well, to the Sterling Group, correct?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have support?
I'll support that.
Been moved and supported. Further discussion?
I have a question. Is there a cost increase or anything?
No, the renewal stayed the same for long-term disability, short-term disability, vision, and dental. The only thing that changes if we sign this is who services our account.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, and there's no cost associated, correct?
There's no cost associated.
I'll entertain a voice. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion passed. Tim, the next item is our annual discussion of our opt-out vote for the publicly funded healthcare contribution act. Would you like to?
Sure. This is an annual test that I keep track of with the board before the first of the year. In order to continue funding more than 80% of the cost of employee health care coverage, you're required to do a motion under the applicable statute to opt out. And I have a proposed motion. The board member would like to do it. Make it. I'll give Michelle a copy. I'll make the motion. I move as a township to adopt and give itself from the requirements of the publicly funded health insurance contribution act of the county and medical benefit plan the calendar year for the from January 1st on. So the calendar year of 2020.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Actually, roll call vote on this.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. Okay, and the next item of business gets into a discussion that's been ongoing for some time, of which our equalization department at the county and Mr. Summers worked diligently to put together a best case scenario, of which this, in regards to our AMAR reporting to the assessing department, not that it has an effect on us, but this is a measure of the state to garner a higher level of control over township government. In this paperwork, what is presented is a county appointment of the designated assessor of Allen Berg. Currently, Allen Berg is the chief assessing officer for, I believe, 5, maybe 6 of the municipalities within the county. This has, I believe, just a retaining fee of $200 annually. We are in complete compliance as it stands with our AMAR, of which we are not up for AMAR review until 2023. The inherent potential flaw and financial hardship that could be applied to us if this a designated assessor is not chosen to represent our county and us as a municipality means that the state will appoint one of 4 licensed designated assessors, of which none of them are outside the metropolitan areas of primary urban centers, of which our $200 retainer would exponentially increase to a point where the state hasn't even made it known what they will be charging. This is an inherent cost that we will face, whether or not we are in violation of an AMAR review, of which we would have 1 year to rectify any findings. But as it stands, this is our best case scenario, is to utilize a local individual. Yes, Russ?
I want to make sure that my understanding of this contract, and I reviewed it for the county and helped tweak it with Ted. And Ted's such a good guy to work with, I'll tell you that. But he and I both agree that this is a dumb state statute under which the county has to make this contract. But it's almost like it's a third-party beneficiary contract with the individual taxing units. We won't have to pay any container as long as Mr. Byrd has somebody within our county that he represents. So it doesn't have to be us, but it, you know, and we don't have any problems under this contract or anything at all, as long as that, whatever you call it, AMAR.
No.
We're in compliance. And even when you're in non-compliance, you have a year to fix it, and there's all sorts of things. But it's really an if-dog-rabbit thing, and it's really probably not going to ever affect this township. But we have to agree to it so that.
So are you willing to?
For the state without having them just step in and do their thing.
Are you willing to make the motion?
I make the motion to accept that contract.
We have a motion on the table to accept the county contract for a designated assessor, and support by Trustee Poley. Further discussion? Laura, I'll sign yours and you can take it to the county.
Okay.
All those in favor, this is a roll call, actually. I would like to see this be a roll call.
Trustee Lappin?
Yeah.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Trustee Kroll, still with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Poley?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. Thank you very much for the clarification, Trustee Reinhardt. Moving forward to the R&R quote. Chief Robbins, are you still with us?
You want me to take it?
Yeah.
Unless Chief Robbins comes up, he can take it from there. What I know is I talked to John Clements on Thursday or Friday, and during a routine oil maintenance on engine 2, they discovered that the brakes needed to be replaced. So it's still in service, but this is the estimate to fix the brakes.
Yes. Laura.
My question is, did they get another quote for this?
But we all know that there are very few people that do fire engine repair.
Okay.
It's on
This is on engine 2.
engine 2.
Is that the one that's?
South side.
No, it's on south
South
side.
side, okay. Okay. I'll make a motion that we enter into, or have R&R truck repair, fix the brakes on engine 2.
We have a motion on the table to move forward with the quote provided of $3,688.92 to repair the brakes on E2. Is there support?
I'll support that.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion?
I assume this comes within a budget line item that there's sufficient funds in.
Vehicle maintenance will.
Yeah, and public safety.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Poley?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. New item number 9, Clerk Palovich, would you like to once again?
As you all know, the administrative assistant first office resigned at the end of September. So I'm asking that the board give me permission to post the position. I have to post it in the office for 5 days per the union contract, and then post it in the Alpena News and on our website.
I'll make a motion that you proceed with posting the administrative assistant's position for the clerk's office in the Alpena News and for the union and all the appropriate places that you need to.
We have a motion on the table to allow Clerk Palovich to move forward with posting of the job. Is there, it's been moved and seconded, further discussion?
Michelle, is this position a step position? In other words, do they come in at a certain level and then after so long get raises?
Yeah.
And so a new person would come in at the lowest level of the...
Unfortunately, yes, it's because of the union contract. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Everybody starts.
We can definitely get you, that would be one thing that would probably help you, is to get you union contracts.
I can email those to you.
Yeah, we'll get those to you. But yes, due to FOPLC's contract, administrative assistants are one job description group, and it starts as an annual progression. So we have a motion and support on the table. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich? Yes. Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. Okay. At this point in time, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go in closed session.
We have a motion to go into closed session to discuss attorney-client privilege, water litigation. Is there support?
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Reiner?
Yes.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich? Yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes,
At
we're at quarter after. Okay, and I will be